Hello, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Edens, a finance coach, author, and wealth mindset researcher, and I'm so happy you chose to join me for part 3 today of our 2023 holiday budget workshop. If you haven't already downloaded the workbook, you can go to my website, sarahedens.com/holiday 2023, and download your free 8-page holiday workbook. And it's a beautiful color version. And then if you have a black and white printer like I do right now, it also does just fine with black and white. So you can print that off, and that's a nice resource for you as you're making your lists, coming up with how much you want to budget for various categories over the holidays, things like that. So I hope you enjoy that as a resource. It's completely free, and you just sign up with your email. Okay, so let's just go right into what we're going to do here about continuing to manage our money during the holidays in a way that's not going to land us in a bunch of debt in January, and also be able to feel like we've used our money in the way that we wanted to over Christmas, that had the most impact and built the best memories. So the first thing is, and this is something maybe to think about for next year. If you haven't done it this year, it's fine. But one thing that I like to do is I like to budget year round for my holiday shopping. So you can actually, in your annual budget, every month you can actually put down a line item for holiday savings and or holiday shopping, whatever you want to call it. And then you can actually just go ahead and every single month put money aside for Christmas. And so when you get to Christmas, you know exactly how much money you have to work with because you've been saving all year. And then that's what you have to work with to be able to have all your holiday expenses covered. So that can be really nice. That is like a great way to avoid any kind of holiday credit card debt at the end of the holidays and into January. Because you're working with cash, so you know exactly what you're doing. And if you put your money into what's called a high yield savings account, then it'll make a little bit of interest while it's sitting there waiting to be used at the holidays to create memorable, fun celebrations for you and your family. So you can look into that as well. So that's the first thing, is have your Christmas shopping be a monthly line item and save for it throughout the year. Number 2 is to set realistic expectations about gift giving with your extended family. So this is really important, especially if you have a very large extended family and you're used to giving a lot of presents to all of them and they give a lot of presents to you. This might be the year to sit down and have an honest conversation. You don't have to go into all the details, but, talk about, hey, money's a little bit tight this year. We're going to have to do things a little bit differently. How are things for you? Do you like the way things have been going with the way we're doing gift exchange, or do you want to do something different? I think a lot of times with families, we can set kind of unrealistic expectations for ourselves and then end up disappointed in each other. And so I think it's good to have these conversations. They can be maybe a little bit awkward up front, but can really lead to some good conversations and some good communication, especially with what's going on with the economy and everything right now and all the uncertainty. And so you might talk to your family about, okay, if we are still going to exchange gifts, let's set a gift limit so that we're only going to spend XYZ amount of money on each other this year. And that's something that fits with everyone's budget, so that you don't have someone giving incredible lavish presents and the other people maybe not being able to afford that and feeling a little bit awkward with that exchange. So if you just set a limit on how much everyone's giving, then that can be helpful. You can also look at celebrating with non-gift things. So you can do a big family potluck if you all live in the same area. You can do family Zoom calls. I know we've done those a couple of years running now with my family because we're just spread out all over the country. So you can do family Zoom calls over the holidays, and that can be really special too. And nobody has to travel, but you still got that time to check in with each other and catch up with everyone. So that can be really fun. So just kind of use your creativity, and also just don't be afraid to be the one to kind of open those conversations up if you really aren't going to be able to afford to give the kind of gifts you're used to giving and your family is used to receiving from you. Great year to have that conversation, because everyone knows we've been through a lot of financial difficulties the last couple of years, and so it's something that everyone's aware of. Then the next thing is to consider scaling back on Christmas gifts for acquaintances. So as you can imagine, if you're having to kind of scale back on the way you're giving presents with your family, then for sure with acquaintances and people in your wider social circle, we're talking coworkers, colleagues, the mailman, we're talking neighbors, we're talking service providers. all the different people who are so incredibly important in our lives, but there's just a lot of them. And so it may not be practical to give gifts to all of them. And so this might be a good year to write really nice Christmas notes to them and express your appreciation for specifically how they helped you and supported you throughout the year and how much you appreciate that. That can be really heartfelt and great and not cost a ton. And there's some beautiful, beautiful Christmas cards out there every year to choose from on the market. You could also do baked goods if you're looking at giving gifts to neighbors, giving gifts to coworkers. Homemade baked goods are always a hit, so that's something to think about. So there's just a lot of different things that you can do to express your appreciation for that wider circle of people in your life who are so important and such a big, important part of our social circles and our support network, but who might be really difficult to buy presents for if you're having to get on a budget to buy nice presents for. We've all been the recipients of those kind of Secret Santa gifts that are really pretty low dollar and just not particularly great gifts, and often things we don't even want. I'm personally really not a fan of Secret Santa things. I know they can be popular, but it's something to think about if you're having to really prioritize your gift giving, focus on the people in your closest circle of family and friends. And then as you move out, find either homemade gifts to give, non-monetary kind of gifts to give, cards, things like that. And because the holidays are really all about gathering together with the people that we love and then expressing gratitude for the people in our lives in meaningful ways. So that's a good thing to think through there. And then the last one here is to prioritize experiences over material gifts. And I think for me personally, as I get older, this has been something that's been more and more meaningful for me, is to really create good memories with the people who I love, because those are the things that last for a lifetime and they're very special. And Christmas is a great time to build those memories. And I know we've been talking about this throughout the workshop, but A Calm Christmas and Happy New Year by Beth Kempton is just a great resource, and her podcast, which is free if you want to listen to that. But she has a lot of good ideas in here for how to build memories with your loved ones over the holiday season. So definitely pick up a copy of her book and listen to back seasons of her podcast, and that will help you kind of brainstorm some ideas if you're looking for gifts of experience that you can give to your family and friends, to your loved ones, and be able to share time together, whether that's having a holiday movie night with popcorn or having a cookie decorating party, or you can go to a holiday concert, Christmas light show, all kinds of things available during the holidays. The list is endless of the things to do in our communities at the holiday season, and lots of fun. And many of them are free. So definitely something to think about there. Well, thank you again so much for joining me for part 3 of our workshop. I'll be back with part 4, and I will see you again soon in my next video.